Hi, my name is Carter Pruitt, and today I'll be presenting over a man's masculinity. So first things first, let's get right into the advertisement I selected. I chose this campaign for Maxi Milk by Maxi Nutrition. As you can see, or I hope you can see, it reads "Milk for Real Men," and it features this very physically fit individual drinking the beverage while hanging from the edge of a cliff. It does promote fitness, and it promotes a healthy diet with the beverage including high protein and being fat-free. But I would choose to argue that more than anything, it is promoting a generation of anxious and intimidated men. So, in today's society, what does it mean to be a man? One of the first components that I think anybody, if you were to ask any random stranger on the street what it means to be a man, is that you need to be strong. And while this is true, it's more meant from society that you need to be strong externally. You need to have the muscles and the capability to do the things that a strong man would be able to. An above average man, you need to be able to protect and be able to perform at a above average level. With strength comes the physique and quote unquote jacked here. You need to look the part. You need to be chiseled, low fat, high muscle tone. You need to have all the glamour muscles ready at any given time, whether that's chest, abs, arms, even legs, pretty much everything needs to be at the highest, the peak of your muscles' capability to be able to flaunt your body and how much you've improved and succeeded over your time. With that comes a healthy lifestyle, and unfortunately, at the cost of being jacked, that sometimes is misconstrued into a very unhealthy lifestyle. People will go to very dark places to see their body succeed at those lower fat percentages and higher muscle tones. This can be an overuse of supplements, an introduction to steroids or anything like that, unnecessary injections into your body that overstimulate your nervous system and other bodily functions and just cause much more harm than good. It might make you look big and strong and quote unquote better, but it is going to do some severe damage in the long run. And that also can take a toll on your mental health. And we'll get more into mental health later, but if you're more focused on your body than anything, you are going to struggle in a lot more areas just in your personal records in the gym. So with that ad came the impressive feat of holding onto the side of a cliff while drinking a beverage. While that is obviously an exaggeration, they're probably not promoting that in any way, shape, or form. Being a man, typically in society, should come with the capability to perform impressive feats, to be able to do cool things or things that are going to catch someone's eye. You don't want to be boring or static. You want to have not even just an interesting personality, but you want to catch people's attention by the things you are capable of doing. Running fast, jumping high, lifting heavy weights. Really just exceptional athletic feats is what a man should be able to perform. Additionally, you want to be focused and purpose driven. While that is very true, in the real world it should be very true. In media, that is more talking about finances and money. You want to have as much as possible. You want to have the amenities that equate to a successful man, being a car, the house, the jewelry, anything and everything to externalize your wealth. Also, the last thing I put here is just being the better man. And I put that because being the better man is a lot different, or being the best man is a lot different than being a better man. Being a better man for yourself is what everybody should strive for every day. Or man or woman. Everybody should strive for that every day. You want to just keep chiseling at yourself, sculpting your own image and individuality, and just becoming the better person you can every day. But you don't have to be the best man or woman in the room. A lot of these analogies can be used for man and woman, but I'm going to keep saying man for the sake of this presentation because that's what I'm talking about. However, you don't need to be the best man in the room. You don't have to be the strongest, the fastest, the smartest. It's okay to not be exceptional in every physical aspect. It's actually normal not to be. And we've just raised the bar way high due to media, because the likes and the shares are always going to go to the top dog and the accounts. And like you're not going to follow someone who's just normal, because most of us are perceived as normal. We perceive ourselves as normal. So I'm going to follow someone who's quote unquote exceptional and is catching my attention. And so you really just want to watch yourself on that and make sure that you're not becoming a perfectionist, because perfection is always out of reach. It's good to strive for it, but it's more important to understand that you will never actually reach that. And so what a man should really represent. I think more than anything, a man should have his own moral compass. And while everybody's going to have a little tweaks here and there to their own moral compass, there is good and bad. Everybody knows right from wrong in the general sense. There are, like I said, areas of gray area where you can maybe swing one way or another on a decision, whether it's politics, religion, whatever you want to decide and know in your heart. You still know right from wrong. And if you're not having those values and virtues of kindness, responsibility, compassion, I wrote was another big one, generosity, just all the words that come to mind when you think of what a role model should be. That's what a man should be, was someone who leads with guidance. Compassion's a big one. I chose this picture. It shows obviously compassion. It's presumably a father and his daughter walking, but it's more important that I put this one up there because it's just a silhouette. It doesn't show off his physique. It doesn't show off his clothes. It doesn't even show off his face or anything about him. It's just that he's there with his daughter, and that's more of what a man should be, is just being able to take time. And I keep saying the word guide, but that's what I really do believe. And so the next two steps I put was intellect in his field and confidence. It's important to understand that you're not going to be the best at everything, like I said, but you need to be an intellect in your field, and to lift that weight off your shoulders that I have to be the best, I have to be the smartest. Find what you're good at, go be great at it. And that comes with confidence. Every man should be confident, but confidence is often misconstrued for cockiness, and cockiness is not a good thing. You should not have to boast or flaunt your successes. They should speak for you. And lastly, I put provision. And more than just finances, obviously you want to be well off so that you can provide for those that you care about and those that care about you. But you want to make sure that you can also provide shelter physically. Obviously, you want to protect, but provide shelter emotionally as well, being able to console those that you love so that one day, should you need it, they can turn around and console you. Which brings me to my next point of men's mental health. And with body image issues aside, that's one very heavy topic that can weigh down on a man and make him reach a point of self-pity and just feeling incapable and unworthy in the eyes of the media. Men's mental health is typically based upon how we're all in a race against time. We don't have enough time to perform all the tasks we need to do, to make all the money that we should be making, and to get our body to that standard that has been set by the media. It's just impossible to do all of those things by the time I'm 22. It's just not reasonable, and it shouldn't be expected. However, a lot of men feel that they aren't able to talk about that because they see these men put up on a pedestal by the media and say, if they're able to do it, why can't I? And that just, it doesn't allow us to filter out the good and bad throughout conversation. Everybody needs good counsel, and you might think you have it all figured out, but you talk to someone else who's gone through a similar situation but perceived it in a totally different light. It's just really important that you have different perspectives coming in and out of your life, good and bad, all the time, so that you can figure out where you stand and how to navigate your own path. And as far as the body image issues, like I said, I brought that up, but I did want to mention another group of being the disabled. And if it is put up in everybody's vision that we should all be jacked, capable of performing these feats. Just muscle over mind, and no matter what, we need to be able to perform these high risk tasks almost, in case of an event or emergency. Um, if you start out in life and you're already disabled, and you're going to feel way more behind than you should, and that's unfortunate because a lot of the disabled, while they shouldn't, do feel discouragement in their own self-worth because they think, well, I'm already at a loss. I can't, whether maybe I can't use my legs, I don't have an arm, I have a cognitive block, I'm not able to possibly perform at the rate of which these exceptional men are performing on my phone that I'm seeing. How can I ever live up to what they expect me to be? And that just holds down the men and women that have been born with a defect, and it's not to their fault at all. So to quote unquote fault them for that is just ridiculous. Like I said, you need an outlet, whether that's a hobby. More often than not, it's going to need to be reciprocated through an individual, and that can be through a friendship, or it can be through dating. But a lot of males have a hard time going out and seeking counsel in the form of friends and women. But in the study I've researched, I found that men have 50% fewer close friends than women. And this might not seem as much of a surprise because men typically have closer knit friend groups, whereas women might have a wider friend base. It still is important to note that men are just as needing of friends to get that good counsel from, and to make sure that they're uplifted, whether that's in sport, in emotional aspects, or just in advice, just from every lifestyle. Just, I'm moving here, I'm seeing this girl, whatever you may need to talk about. You can't figure out everything on your own. You can't possibly be expected to. This is everybody's first time going through all of this. And so that brings me into the other aspect of relationships, which is dating. And as men try and go out and seek these women or men, it's going to be hard because the media has perceived to males, just as they have to women, what a man should be. And so if these women are expecting to find the most capable, the most fit men, they're going to narrow their market down tenfold. If they're looking for if they're going out looking for these men that are in less than the top 1% of our age group, you're not going to find him. Maybe you get lucky, but you're just going to keep looking and being disappointed when you should not be disappointed at all, because there are exceptional men that you're passing up every day just because they don't check the box of a physique, which is totally ridiculous because men do the same thing for women. They don't check a physique. You don't give the woman a time of day whenever you might sit down and actually have a conversation with her, and she might be exactly what you want or exactly what you need. And so there's just a lot less availability between male and women due to physique and due to that lack of conversation being willing to happen, because it's just at first sight, are they giving me what I need? No, I'm going to move on. And so in conclusion, milk for real men should just be read as milk. Real men do not hang off of cliffs. Some men who are real do that, but you do not need this drink to become a real man. You do not need that body to become a real man. You do not need anything about this image to be a real man. The only thing you need to be a real man is your moral compass, your friends and family, and your ability to complete the tasks that you need to complete, and ability to confront your feelings and be open and outright with them. And sources.